show going, man.
Hurry up, hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Hurry up!
Come on now. We're gonna have action soon. Right here. It ain't going nowhere.
Boy, yeah, you got some technique, boy. You ain't show me that this summer.
Hey, wildcat.
Ball at the 5, third down and 2.
That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball.
It's holding.
Cliff. The Cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't gonna call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We're the Aussie Guys. I'm AJ. Here with me is G. How are you, G?
Very well, mate. And, mate, summer's here. First day of summer, 30 degrees in Melbourne. Boom, bang, and I'm stuck down here in a basement with you.
In a cold basement.
In a cold basement at that.
It's going to be a gorgeous day. It is already.
The problem these days is when it gets hot, it's windy.
Oh, I hate the wind.
Yeah, it's just shocking. It just spoils the day. No, I'm not going to complain because it's better than bloody being freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
But...
wind is awful.
Yeah.
It's been Melbourne wind, like that hot wind.
Yeah, it's terrible. Comes down from the north, off the land.
Yuck.
No, not good at all.
Give me a day, even if it's like 24 degrees, no wind.
Oh,
gorgeous.
Perfect.
That is perfect. But 30 degrees...
Bit of thin cloud cover. I'm not a big fan. Like, I like the warmth.
Yeah.
I just don't like the sun. I know you can't have the warmth without the sun, but I'd rather not have the sun beating down and tearing, layers of skin off me.
Slip, slop, slap. You just got to do that.
You do. Big hat.
Regularly.
Big poncho.
You're big a tradie.
Poncho.
You'd be all
what is
across
it?
that.
Sombrero. Poncho.
You get a tax deduction for sunscreen, wouldn't you?
I'd try and put a tax deduction in for everything.
Of course. I hope there's no one listening from the ATO. Anyway, but...
I pay my taxes.
Yeah, we pay our taxes for sure. Hey, listen, drinks of the pod. Let's go first. What did you get?
Sobriety Saturday, because we're doing this on the Saturday morning, lunchtime.
We are. I put mine on the side. What did you get for me, sorry?
I have no idea. What is it? Just go and grab it down there. And I've got a, how would you pronounce it? Giratos? Is it Giratos?
Doritos?
Doritos. Mexican cola.
Oh.
Natural flavour. So I didn't know that cola was a natural flavour. But there you go.
Doritos.
Made in Mexico since 1950.
Wow. Okay.
So I just, I didn't think, it's not too early to start drinking, but I've got to get in the car and go and score a basketball game after this.
That's right. And this would be very nice, although I'm still on my diet, I'm afraid. But I will put this aside and I will crack it open. It's organic kombucha.
Well, I could have got you a fruit drink, healthy, but mate, probably got more sugar in there than that.
You know what? I could set you a challenge. Actually, it'd be a non-alcoholic drink, but like a good veggie drink.
Okay.
I'm only really having vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Just vegetables?
Basically.
Okay. No meat?
No.
Where do you get your protein from?
No, I'm having protein.
What about a few carbs? Where do you get your carbs?
No carbs at all.
No carbs?
Nah. I'm having protein and vegetables.
What's the paleo? Is that no carbs?
I don't know. But lots of vegetables.
I don't worry about that stuff.
A new appreciation for Brussels sprouts.
Oh, my God.
They're fantastic.
No, they're terrible.
No.
They are terrible.
If it's all you can eat, they're fantastic.
Oh, mate, ugh.
Let me tell you.
Mate, people say they taste great with butter. Mate, I need a shit load of butter. Enough to take away the taste of the Brussels sprouts. And I reckon you're really stretching it. Yeah, pretty much. I run it, yeah.
And kale.
Oh,
you a fan of kale?
No. Well, I smelled that the other week when we discussed that.
The smell was pretty
That was
off.
terrible.
It tastes nice. Hey, listen, some breaking news. Actually, before we get to the super breaking news this morning, Cowboys had a win.
Oh, they did. And I'm actually, Johnny Schepps was meant to be on with us at the moment.
Still be.
He may still
fingers
be.
crossed.
We're still waiting for the blue ticks on WhatsApp.
Coming around the turn to hit the straight.
Maybe he went out and celebrated a little bit too hard after the win.
Some celebration.
It's probably good that he's not here at the start, and when we bring this up, and because the pod might get absolutely consumed with Cowboys talk.
Do you think his lady gets dressed up in some Cowboys gear and they have some fun, celebratory?
There is some celebrity, is it cowgirl and
yeah, man, you'd be justified. They beat the Super Bowl favourites right now.
And offences hasn't been able to be stopped.
Yeah.
And they kept them to
They stopped
10 points.
Drew Brees, I don't think had... Well, maybe he had a completion, but for a good part of the first quarter, didn't have a single completion.
I haven't seen the game yet, so I have to sit down there.
And obviously didn't score many points at all.
No, I had him in one lead. Lucky the guy I'm playing against this week's crap.
Oh, okay.
He's on the bottom of the line.
That is lucky. So, yeah, the resurgent Cowboys.
Jerry be happy.
Very, very happy. But the breaking news this morning is the Kareem Hunt video. Also, just before I hit record, it is now official. Kareem Hunt has been placed on the commissioner's exempt list. That means while they do the investigation, he cannot play or practice. He is now on ice. Now, I don't know how long that process takes. Typically, with the league, it takes a long time. It's not like a few days. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's Kareem Hunt done for the season.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, it's probably the fantasy season anyway.
For the fantasy season, certainly. Now, the Chiefs are very fortunate in they do have a very talented backup in Spencer Ware. They are very fortunate. He's a very similar style of player. He can step right in, and it's not like he's just been sitting on the bench with his mittens on. He has been getting touches pretty much from the start of the season, but he's going to be relatively fresh. And
fresh legs, yep.
I think he could slot in there, and I won't say there won't be too much of a drop-off because Kareem Hunt is one of the best running backs in the entire league. I can't say won't be much drop-off, but look, Spencer Ware's pretty good.
We spoke about this before we came on. It's not like the next man up scenario because Spencer Ware, okay, he's the next running back up.
Yeah.
And next man in that position, but mate, it's not next man up because he's not Kareem Hunt. No. You don't have a Kareem Hunt sitting behind a Kareem Hunt at the moment in Kansas City. And
anyway,
some positions you can turn around and say, next man up, and they'll do just as good a job. But when you're talking about players like him, Julio, Zeke, a quarterback, starting quarterback, next man up just doesn't apply, and it doesn't apply here.
No.
But yeah, the video, it's not good. I think the kick when he kicks her when she's on the ground is.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
bit,
that's if you want to seal a fate, he did a pretty good job of it there. But we were talking off before we started. I have a daughter, and I just do not understand how society's gone to the point. Her girlfriend's there.
Yes.
Now, you see one of the guys with Kareem Hunt, mate, whoever it might be, I have no idea.
He's got a couple of mates with him. Yep.
He walks over and grabs her girlfriend's phone.
Yes.
So obviously she's filming this.
She is.
Or he's making sure that she's not filming, but she's probably filming it.
No,
because that's what we do. So instead of a friend going, oh my God, this guy's angry, look at the size of him, look how strong. Mate, he had two mates, couldn't hold him back. Now, this is a guy that runs through people that weigh...
Pro football players can't hold him back.
No. The combined weight of his two mates. He runs over him. Why the hell do you not get your friend by the arm, shoulder, whatever, grab her by the hair?
Yeah.
We are getting the F out of here right now. Instead of grabbing your phone and saying, hey, look, I'll help you out. I'll film this.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Now, what happens if something happened to your friend? We saw her get pushed by
Looks like she hit her head
She hits her head like on the side of the elevator door area.
Yes.
Right? Now, her friends film. I think her friends filming that afterwards. You see him come and take it off. But what happens if this? I'm not talking about Kareem. I'm just talking about society in general. You get into a blue. I'm going to film this. Your friend gets punched. Your friend goes to the ground. Hey, guess what? We're going to take him to court. We're going to make a lot of money. Your friend's a goddamn vegetable.
Yeah.
You get brain damage, anything happens, you hurt your spine, you never walk again. But hey, guess what? I filmed it. We're going to make millions. What's the use of the millions of bucks when you lie in a hospital bed, drinking through a goddamn straw for the rest of your life? How about grab your friend, screw the phone, and get the hell out of there? My daughter's gone away for the weekend on what they call schoolies, where all the kids go and they all party, right?
Yeah.
Now, they've had some trouble. The day before she went down, they had trouble and they had police down there.
Did they?
Yeah, okay. So I said to her, no matter what happens, you avoid the situation. If your friends, you know what girls are like, two guys get in a fight and the girlfriends are in there and they're all bitching and, get off him and all. You grab your friend and you get out of there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, promise me you do that. And,
yes.
and look, she's a smart girl, but I don't get, just grab your friend and get the F out of there. Don't worry about filming it.
It makes no sense. And, it's not cool to victim blame, and I'm not doing that.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
There's got to be a modicum of common sense on both sides. Now, Kareem Hunt's clearly pissed. His friends can't hold him back.
He's
And there's
agitated,
alcohol
and if there's, we don't know if there's alcohol. I don't know, or whatever else.
Yes,
but he's highly agitated.
But she keeps going back
she's in
at
his
him.
face. She's in his face, and I'm not taking that away. But mate, her friend's going to drag her away because obviously she's not going to do it.
No.
From the video, she's not going. Mate, she's walking forward the whole time.
Yes,
and his mates are going to drag him into the room, close the door.
Yep,
mate. Both of them, it's not a good look.
No.
But that's my rant. And I got an apology to make for a rant that I had last week. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Well, look, it's alcohol. In the end of the day, sometimes that can be the root cause of all these things.
Time and I. What's the saying? Nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah. Exhibit A.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to anything else you want to say before we get into some games?
No.
All right. Oh, that was easy then. apart from Kareem Hunt, that wasn't necessarily easy. That was complicated, and will continue to be complicated. And those people who I saw a whole lot of activity on fantasy leagues this morning. People grabbing Spencer Ware. He's owned in a lot of leagues that I'm in anyway. Some leagues I have him, which is fine. But Kareem Hunt owners on the eve of the fantasy playoffs. Be crying in your beer.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And Melvin Gordon, he's got a bit more of a chance of coming back and maybe helping you out, but
yeah,
not Kareem Hunt at this stage.
No. So let's get to some games, and hopefully we'll have Schepps join us. He can chime in, but we're going to carry on regardless. So, do you want to go with your first one, and then I will...
My first game?
Follow.
Okay. I started writing it in pencil. Pencil's not very good to write with.
And we've got a full slate.
You need a sharpener.
Oh, yeah. We've got a full slate, so keep it to the fantasy relevant guys or the guys that there's something worthwhile talking about.
Okay, so we'll start off with the Texans v the Browns.
Ooh.
Texans on a roll.
That could be a good game,
They could be a very good game, especially with Baker Mayfield coming out.
It's looking good.
And getting a little bit of swagger about him, aren't they?
The Hugh Jackson thing.
Yeah.
But look, okay, sorry, I know we're going off the rail. Case in point, it actually is a wrong thing that Hugh Jackson is still actually technically being paid by the Cleveland Browns. He's been paid for the year.
Is he being paid by...
Yeah.
I know he's being paid by the Browns. Is he being paid by the Bengals?
Yeah.
He is.
Yes.
He'd be getting something.
Is super wrong.
Okay.
Like, the Browns have fired him, and he should be sitting on his backside in his lounge room. That's it. Case closed. We're paying you not to be involved in football for the rest of the year.
I don't understand how people are saying, well, he got the sack, so that's too bad. Too bad, Browns. You decide to give him the arse, and he's gone somewhere else. Okay?
Except for the fact that they're paying him.
Yeah, exactly. But in I'm a Formula One nut, they have what they call gardening leave. If you're getting paid by what your contract, you're getting paid by them, you can't go and work for anybody else.
No.
You can't go and take all your technical skills that you've learnt from one team and drag it across to another team until your contracts run out.
That's fair.
They call it gardening leave.
Gardening leave.
Yeah. So that's just a term. But anyway, we've got the Texans and the Browns. So we'll go on the Texans side, and Deshaun Watson. He's a start. Is he a start?
Yeah.
He's a start purely based on what he's doing with his legs.
Oh, yeah, true.
If you're looking for what he's doing with his arm, you probably... all
right.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He needs a lot of work. But, look... He's got a good matchup this week against the Browns. Rushing TDs, you're going to need a rushing TD probably out of him as well. And the Browns versus QBs in the last 4 weeks are ranked 30, giving up 24.1 fantasy points. And on the year, they're 18th. So they've really dropped away in the last 4 weeks against quarterbacks. Yep, start.
Yep.
Lamar Miller, he's a start. Yep. 162, 1 TD last week against the Titans D that had been ranked number 7 in rushing defense. So you're going to roll him out again. Alfred Blue, well, you're not even worried about him, even though he had one more carry last week than Lamar Miller.
Okay.
So he's definitely getting the carries, but he's obviously not doing as much as Lamar Miller's doing with his. DeAndre Hopkins, skip. Yep, of course you're going to start him. Don't even bother about it. Now, someone I forgot to mention last week when we talked about teams was Thomas. And then he pops up and scores 2 TDs. So he had them on 4 receptions. He only had 38 yards. And really pretty much up until that point he hadn't done anything at the Texans until that point. He hadn't really done much, let's face it, at the Broncos.
Full stop. Yeah.
So O'Brien said that he needed to get him more activated in the offense, and he does because Hopkins needs to help out.
Oh, I have to interrupt you. Breaking. The Chiefs have cut Kareem Hunt.
They've cut him?
Yes.
Holy.
You're at this point, I think it's fair to say, holy shit.
They've cut him?
Yes. Anyway, sorry to break your concentration.
No.
Cut.
Better tweet that out while I keep talking.
Whoa.
That's I find, like, I know, like, the video's not great, but it's not as bad as it can. It's nothing like...
There's a statement here. I've just tweeted it, but there's a statement here from the Chiefs. Bear with me. I'm just loading it. Earlier this year, we were made aware of an incident involving running back Kareem Hunt. Oh, well, they did know. Mm-hmm. At that time, the National Football League and law enforcement initiated investigations into the issue. As part of our internal discussions with Kareem, several members of our management team spoke directly to him. Kareem was not truthful in those discussions. The video released today confirms that fact. We are releasing Kareem immediately. How's that for a bombshell?
That's I find. Is it so? They've added the fact that he lied.
Yes,
and they're not happy about that.
Yep.
Well, obviously they're not going to be. Damn. Geez.
Wow.
Yeah, blown away a little bit.
Oh my word. Sorry. Challenge you to pick up your pick up from where you.
And then we'll just jump on to Thomas. Anyway, he has the risk, but he has the rewards. Obviously, as he showed last week. Kiki QT. Not sure I'm going to be rolling the dice on that one. And Ryan Griffith is fourth in the targets for the team, but I really can't go there. And Jordan Thomas is still the one that leads with touchdowns. He has 3, and Griffin has none. On the Browns side, who are we going to start in the Browns? Baker Mayfield, so they're coming off 2 wins.
Yep.
He's had 7 TDs, 472 yards. And let's have a look at this in perspective, is that the 2 teams he played against were pretty average. Sorry, AJ, one of them being the Raiders.
Yes. No, you're not insulting anybody.
So the Texans the last 4 weeks have given up 782 yards and 4 TDs. They're going for the 9th win in a row. And look, they have faced some pretty good QBs in those weeks too. They faced Andrew Luck, who put up 34 points of fate, and the other ones were Prescott, the Allen Peterman combo, Blake Bortles, Brock Osweiler, and the Case Keenum combination. Yeah, and the very vanilla ice, Alex Smith, Colt McCoy, after Alex Smith obviously broke his legs, and a banged-up Mariota. So, mate, the Texans have had some really good wins in a row, but, mate, they haven't really played any quarterbacks up until this stage. So, Baker Mayfield, outside of Luck, is going to be the best quarterback they've seen in this stretch they've been having all these wins. But do you roll Baker Mayfield this week? We've got a full slate of people. 2 QBs leagues, obviously. But that's going to be a decision I'd find hard to start him, I think, against the Texans. Nick Chubb, mate, as I've said weeks and weeks ago, I'm rolling with him with the rest of the year, and he hasn't proven me wrong so far, but it'll probably be this week. Duke Johnson, in the last 4 weeks, the Texans have only allowed 100 yards and 0 TDs to pass catch him back. So I'd find him hard to slip him in the team, not even into the flex spot. Jarvis Landry's a really hard one. To be honest, mate, I couldn't even start him in PPR at the moment, AJ. He's only had 17 targets, 11 catches, 102 yards, 0 TDs in his last 3 games.
You got to ice him. You got to put him on your bench.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't. I can't start him, and that pretty much says for that. And Taylor Callaway, risk Rashard Higgins. They're spreading the ball around too. You look at the touchdowns based on the team, and no one's had more than 3. 3 guys have had 3. The rest of them had 2, and a couple of ones sprinkled in there. So it's not like one guy's getting all the ball. David Njoku, he's second in team in targets. He's a second in team in yards. He's had 3 TDs on the year, and I have to invoke the TEP policy on that one.
Yep.
And look, the Texans are ranked 32 against tight ends, so that really helps them out. They're giving up 340 yards, 3 TDs in the last 4 weeks, and at an average of 17 fantasy points. So you can probably roll with him this week.
Yep. Okay. Done. Okay, so we'll move fast, and I'm still reeling. I don't really know what to...
I understand the suspension part, but...
Whoa.
God.
That is huge. Whew. Okay.
Well, there you go. Now Le'Veon Bell's got some competition.
My word. Cards at Packers. Not a lot going on in this game, I've got to be honest with you. David Johnson, he's been a little quiet, after looking like he was a bit resurgent, a little quiet, but you play him. And PPR, you just hope that you kind of get it together a little bit and rational coaching does apply. Larry Fitz, he's been playing better of late. The Packers D is a good pass D, but Fitzgerald is well worth playing, and almost no one else on the Cardinals. I guess if you're desperate, I shouldn't say desperate. Christian Kirk, he's been a little inconsistent, and Seals Jones is not really doing enough. If you've got someone better, play him. But again, it's the tight end thing. You might just have to. But let's go across the Packers side, and I am making it brief, right? So Aaron Rodgers is a tick, but it's not really the Aaron Rodgers of old.
No.
Aaron Jones is a massive tick. Hooray. Hooray for rational coaching. Hooray, he's emerged. Yes. Big yes. Devontae Adams, King Money. Big yes. The rest of the Green Bay receiving core, not sure. MVS is probably the next guy you're going to roll the dice on.
I rolled him out last week, and I think he gave me a goose egg.
I've got a question for you, though. 2019. You'll put the chips on who's going to be like the number 2 wide receiver in Green Bay.
You just mentioned his initials.
MVS?
Yep.
Okay, because there's also Geronimo Allison, who's on IR now. You've also got St. Brown. He's getting
a few looks.
He might maybe not as the number 2. Randall Cobb.
I picked up Randall Cobb this week.
Really?
Oh, well, because they don't really have any options. I think when he comes back, he's maybe in PPR more than standard, that he might get, might give you at least 10 a week.
Yes.
And look, we saw what he did. We're going back a long way now. The first game of the year when he exploded, and we thought, hey, here we are, Randall Cobb's back. And ever since then, all these games combined wouldn't even be half of what he scored in the first.
Yeah. And Jimmy Graham, broken thumb. Risky.
Yeah,
risky.
Look, I've got him in a fair few teams. Unfortunately, I have to play him in one in Scott Fishbowl. Don't have a option, but in the other leagues, I have him. I've started Njoku over him.
Yeah. Good call. Actually, no, I like Njoku though. But so cards at Packers. There's not a lot fantasy wise going on there, and the Packers should make fairly tidy work of the cards. You'd think. But anyway, that's that one. Off you go.
Okay, I've got at Falcons versus the Ravens. So
be a nice
we're in a
game.
situation with the Falcons, being a Falcons fan, that haven't been in this situation for a while now, where they're going to miss the playoffs. So not that we're spoiled, because I ain't a Packers, I ain't a Patriots fan, obviously, but. Look, they had that sort of... Looked like they had a push towards the playoff. They had 3 wins in a row, and now they've had 3 straight losses. So, as I've spoken before, let's just lose every other game, guys, and just get a really good draft pick. I think we sit maybe... Are we about 7th or 8th at the moment, as far as draft picks go?
Yep.
Which would be very, very handy.
Yep.
We have a lot of positions to fill. So, look, Matt Ryan, still the number 3 QB. Look, he's a start. He's averaging 23. Even in the low scoring offense of late, he still put up 20, 13 and 20. He's past 9 starts. He's averaging 351 yards, 2.4 TDs. His home stats are pretty good. He's given you 30, 40, 29, 27. Unfortunately, 19 and 13 in the last 2 games at home. But look, the Ravens are a tough defense, but they're not impregnable. So starting Matt Ryan. Tevin Coleman's a little bit harder. He's a little bit of a harder start. You might start him in a flex spot, but this Rams is number 1 on the season against running backs, and they're only giving up 13.5 fantasy points, and I reckon even that's he's not even going to get to that this week. And look, he really does need a touchdown. And look, all of his points have come in receiving. He's only had 2 rushing TDs and 5 receiving.
Okay.
So if he's going to expect him to get him as a rusher, you're in trouble. And look, I'd rather go and start Eckler, someone like that, than Tevin Coleman this week. Edo Smith is a no. Julio Jones is a definite. Now, Calvin Ridley's a little bit harder. He'll probably go up against Marlon Humphreys this week. He's only allowing 51.9% of catch rate.
Yep.
So that makes things a little bit tough. And he's definitely probably been the best corner in 2018. Mohamed Sanu, no TDs the last 5 games. Last 7 games, less than 70. He hasn't got over 75 yards, so I can't really be starting him either. And look, the Ravens have only allowed, in all the given weeks, 9 top 30 wide receivers all season.
Wow.
So that's incredible. And they're only giving up 57.8 completion rate and only 6.2 yards per attempt, which is really low.
Yep.
Austin Hooper, mate, start him as the number 8 tight end. Number 6 in PPR. He's averaging 11 in PPR. He's a start. 24 targets the last 3 games. And if you're going to attack the Ravens through the air, they haven't been that great against tight ends.
No.
Especially the ones that are targeted highly. So
I gave up on Hooper way too early, I reckon.
Could be nice this time of the year. Could be nice.
Yes.
Now, on the Ravens side, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Big yeah. No?
You going to roll with him?
Yeah, me. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a big fan, although I am a little concerned.
This is how stupid I am.
What?
I gave Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about Deshaun Watson, I was thinking about the running capabilities of Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Why don't you pick me up on it?
No, but Deshaun Watson's got running capabilities.
Yeah, but not
as much as Lamar.
Not as him. Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't catch you on it. Sorry.
I apologise to everybody about that. I've just picked myself up on that fact, and everybody's going, "What the F is Greg talking about?"
No, but Lamar,
for that.
I'm just concerned that we know how this story ends. This style of quarterback, we know how the story ends, don't we?
It worked all right for Michael Vick, unless he breeds dogs.
Well,
we're pretty good.
Man, without that hiccup, maybe we'd be telling a different story.
Michael Vick says he's far better than he was at this stage of his career.
Yeah, true.
So, Lamar Jackson. And look, he's going up against a Falcons defense that mate, can't stop a running back, let alone a quarterback that can move as well as a running back.
Yeah.
And that's the problem they're going to have this week. And look, Cam Newton and Jameis Winston, both mobile QBs, and they've had a really good outings against the Falcons. They've 335 yards, 3 TDs, 42 yards for Cam, and for Jameis, 395, 4 TDs, and 31 yards on the ground. So I think Lamar Jackson could have a massive week this week against the Falcons. So you'd probably be rolling him out, especially if you need something sort of from left field to make the playoffs this week.
Yep.
Gus Edwards, he's another one. Start him against the Falcons. He's put up 23 carries, 118 yards, 17 carries, 115, 1 TD. And look, the Falcons over the 25th are giving up 25 fantasy points to running backs over the last 4 weeks on average. John Brown, mate, he's disappeared since Lamar Jackson came to town. 2 for 8 and 48 yards over the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
But, the Falcons have a habit of just letting someone slip by.
True.
It's hard to watch. Crabtree, look.
Of any of them.
A flex wide receiver 3, scored a TD last week.
Yep.
Sorry, Willie, I can't find a spot for Willie. And as far as tight end go, look, Mark Andrews seems to be the guy. If you call 1 reception, 74 yards, a good start, well, he's your guy. And the week before, he had 1 for 19. But he seems to be leading the tight ends in Baltimore.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the 2 quarterbacks that play in this matchup. The Panthers at the Bucks. We have Cam Newton and Jameis Winston on show in the same game. So, Cam Newton is a big juicy matchup. He's going to get points plus. And so is CMC. It's a great matchup. Well, is there any going to be an occasion when I'm going to say it's a bad matchup for CMC? Every matchup is a good matchup for CMC in this offense. He's going to have a massive day.
Mate, I didn't give him enough credit. I didn't think when he came out of college, I didn't think he ran hard enough between the tackles.
Yeah.
I think he sort of gave up. Mate, that's totally the opposite of what I'm seeing now. Maybe I didn't see it back then, but mate, he runs hard.
Now, a sneaky ad. And he's coming off a nice game, and he's destined to have a good game in this one, I reckon, as well. Funchess is banged up. It's a bad pass D is DJ Moore. And DJ Moore's got a good run home as well. So he could be a sneaky... In redraft, he might be on the bench, and you might be able to pick him up on waivers, I should say.
I'll be going grabbing him and chucking him in my flex spot for sure.
Yeah. go do that. And Greg Olsen, good matchup for him, for the veteran tight end. Otherwise, you're not playing anyone else on the Panthers side. On the Bucks side, Jameis, yes. It's an iffy pass D. Should give him a chance to kind of get and keep rolling.
If you don't lose points to interceptions.
Yeah. And fingers crossed. Look, I like Jameis. I still like Jameis. Fingers crossed that he
they
turns this around.
Yeah, and they're not going to drag him. They can't just keep going backwards and forth. You throw 2Ds, pull him in, next guy. You can't keep
crazy.
doing that.
And the team's got to be...
stick with him for the rest of the season now. That's it.
The team would have to be getting to the point of just... All the players just getting to the point of just like, come on, just cut this out.
Yeah.
Because it can't be good for the team.
Because they throw differently. Yeah. It's so timing-based, isn't it?
Yeah.
The connection between wide receiver and quarterback. The ball comes at a different pace. It comes at a different velocity.
Yep.
Spin rate, all that,
For sure. In the backfield for the Bucks, no. Peyton Barber,
I'll be, okay.
Who are you playing?
I'm rolling him out.
Barber?
Yes.
Okay, desperation flex, maybe.
Desperation flex.
Almost.
He's been running well.
Yeah.
No, I'm chucking him in there.
It's a tough matchup, but it's, yeah. Ronald Jones is still fighting an injured hammy.
No, don't worry about
we
it.
still like him, but not now.
No.
And Dynasty, yes. Mike Evans is a yes.
Yes.
Especially with James back under center is a yes. Deshaun Jackson's fighting an injured thumb. I don't know if you play him. Chris God, I'd probably play maybe Adam Humphries, actually.
Yeah,
I'd probably play Adam Humphries over D-Jax. Godwin, bit inconsistent. Desperation play, maybe. And Cameron Brate is a tight end one the rest of the way. Agreed?
Agreed.
Whoa. Jameis and Cameron Brate, they're having barbecues. Aren't
they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
The Joe Flacco
connection.
Who was the tight end back then?
Dennis Pitter.
Yep. The family barbecues, the wives getting together. We used to love that stuff. Okay, next game up is the Seahawks 49ers. So Richard Sherman comes up against his old team.
Oh, he
does.
It's going
to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Especially who would he play on? Like, he's not going to go in the slot, so they run Doug Baldwin out of the slot to avoid Richard Sherman. And I don't think Richard Sherman's got the speed to keep up with David Moore or Tyler Lockett. So he could get burnt. He could get seriously burnt in this game. But anyway, look, the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, he's a start. Bit lower. It's number 17 QB, AJ. You a bit surprised by that with Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
So, look, he made things happen last week against the Panthers, which was amazing how they walked in there and got away with that win. The 49ers conceding almost 20 fantasy points a week to QBs. And look, he's averaging around about 18 fantasy points at home, so you're going to rack him in your team only because of the matchup this week, obviously. And look, they've got a great run home. They've got 4 out of the next 5 games in Seattle. Now, obviously, one of those games doesn't matter unless you play week 17 in fantasy. I don't know why you do that. It must be hard. You're starting all your backups. Chris Carson, look, I'm starting Chris Carson. He's racking up that many touches at the moment. He's back at home. And look, the guy runs hard, but there is something about playing at home that makes you run that little bit harder.
Yep.
And he seriously runs seriously hard at home. But look, they all do. Mike Davis is exactly the same, but at the moment, Mike Davis is no more a handcuff at this point. Just keep an eye on Carson. He had a couple of fumbles last week. I think one was recovered. This is just off the top of my head. And the other one got punched out of his hands and went out of bounds.
Right.
So he was lucky in that way. But look, since he came back from the hip, he's given you some good. He's given you 12.3 and 12.3, 35 carries, 128 yards and 2 TDs. So roll him out. As I said, Doug Baldwin, number 76 wide receiver at the moment on the boards.
Ooh.
We know the season he's got the groin injury.
Yeah.
But he played 90% of snaps last week, 6 targets, 5 catches, only 39 yards. Had a hard matchup last week. Got a better matchup this week, especially if you can sort of avoid Richard Sherman. So that's probably a flex sort of spot for him at the moment. Tyler Lockett, mate, I'm starting him every week. And Chris, the analyst, every week he mentions it. Every week I say, put him in.
Yeah.
And every week he finds a way to score.
Oh, yeah.
He's giving you
He
points.
does.
Just roll him out there. And I reckon even David Moore, this week's speed kills. And it could seriously kill the 49ers this week. But that's another one that's risk reward. If you need someone who can just go off and maybe gave you that, like the big yardage touchdown that you need, he could be that guy.
David Moore for real?
Is he for real? Mate, he's quick. He's got a great set of hands.
He keeps on doing it.
He does.
At what point do you say he's for real?
I don't know, because he's not a top draft pick, or he just sort of
undrafted, I think.
Yeah, it's people that come out of nowhere. It takes a lot longer for them to grab our attention, but grab our they are good, than if they were taken, we knew that, look, he came out of college being that way.
You know who was similar and took us a while to sort of say, yep, he is good, was, what was his name? The salsa guy.
Oh, Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz. Similar situation. I think he was undrafted.
Well, maybe he needs to dance.
Yeah.
Get our attention a little bit more. As far as tight ends go, look, Nick Van, Ed Dixon, I don't think you can apply the TEP policy to there. And look, Ed Dixon needs a touchdown. Even a touchdown doesn't get him to 10 fantasy points for you. That's the problem you have. So on the 49ers side, Nick Mullins, really? No, I can't be rolling him out.
You have to be super desperate in Superflex.
No, would you go back to CJ Beathard?
Oh, they're not. I don't think they are.
They're not going to at all?
No.
Okay, they know what they got in TJ, so let's see what we've got in Nick Mullins.
Correct.
So, look, after the big opening night that he had, opening night, the jitters, go break a leg in that, he basically did. He 16, 22, 262 and 3 TDs and no interceptions. So since then, he's gone 250, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 222, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. So, I'm not. No one's starting Nick Mullins. Maybe in a 2 quarterback.
Desperate. Yeah. That's right.
Matt Breida, mate, he just keeps going through the ankle problems, doesn't he? Mate, those jabs are really helping him. Sometimes he goes down, you think that's it. He's going off the field, mate. Next, roll him out again.
Yep.
He's having a great year for someone who's carrying an injury. I think this give him a lot of trouble. And the Seahawks, if you're going to go over them, you're going to run through them. They're giving up 143.9 yards from scrimmage per game on average. And they're giving up 12 TDs on the season. Marquise Goodwin, sorry. He missed last week for personal issues.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure where he is at the moment, whether he's going to play this week.
Okay.
But I can't start him. I've got him in a few leagues, and I've had enough of him. Pierre Garçon could be back in the lineup this week.
Okay.
But can you roll anybody out this week? I don't think you can roll out any of the 49ers. We should just
There's only one.
Dante Pettis.
There's only one.
There can be only one.
Yep.
And that's George Kittle. Mate, he could see quadruple coverage this week.
We'll call him Kittle McLeod.
Hey, I like it. He could see the whole defense just rolling to his side of the field this week. But we've seen he can already do it, and with one hand.
Yeah.
Done. Move on.
Okay. Broncos at Bengals. This is going to be probably quick too. Case Keenum. If you have to start him, you start him, I suppose. Case Keenum. The guy that you probably...
someone better.
There's only really 2 players on the whole Broncos... Oh, the 2 most fantasy relevant. Phillip Lindsay, yes, coming off a big game, continues to produce. The Bengals run D is struggling. The Bengals D as a whole is struggling. So Phillip Lindsay...
Can I just say, in all fairness to their defence, Mixon looks... Mate, he could be as good as Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley...
Lev Bell, I was going to say.
Lev Bell.
So, but yeah.
But, I mean, he could be in that group. When he has... Just give him the opportunity to get to the line of scrimmage before he's tackled.
Yeah.
Or, mate, the guy just creates yards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, I've been watching him all year just going, dude, he's
working.
Mate, he is. It's just, he's not given any chance. Like, the amount of times that the offensive line was pushed back 3 steps as soon as the ball snapped.
Ugh.
Like a run, like pass, I understand you go back to protect.
Yeah.
When it's a rushing play, you drive forward.
Yes.
Mate, they are going backwards.
Yeah.
Like the guy doesn't stand a chance. So don't lose faith in Mixon at all. I was going to say Nixon, but...
in Mixon.
Watergate, sort of.
Oh, Nick, don't lose faith in Nixon. We lost faith in him
I'm listening to
too
many history podcasts at the moment.
That's right. Yeah. Manny Sanders, a big yes, coming off a big game. And he hasn't had any little games this year. It's a great matchup. He'll continue to march him out. Cortland Sutton, coming off a big game, a quiet game, I should say. Good matchup for him. Upside. maybe there's someone better you can play.
Yeah,
he's probably more
hard
a 2019.
Shows you something.
Yeah, he's more a 2019. Deshaun Hamilton could be a nice, if you don't have him already, like we've already got him on some leagues, he's a good stash. Not now.
Not now.
No.
But I don't understand whether... I always said he was like in the DJ Moore category.
Yeah.
And I thought he could do more things than DJ Moore, and
Yes.
DJ Moore looks fantastic. It's hard to watch someone who's the same not get used like DJ Moore's getting used.
No, correct. So anyway, give it time. There might even be a new coach in Denver maybe next year, so you never know. Speaking of teams that could potentially have new coaches in after New Year, the Cincinnati Bengals with that powerhouse quarterback Jeff Driscoll under centre.
He looked okay.
Gets his first career start.
For the amount of balls that he threw.
Yeah, true.
Which wasn't many.
It's the Broncos D, and the Broncos D is pretty good. So anyway, I don't sort of have a lot of faith. No one's starting him. We already spoke about Joe Mixon. Absolutely start him. It's just, man, we just wish he was used a bit better. Gio, not really. He's not getting many touches, and I don't know, desperation.
I wouldn't even start him if I was desperate.
AJ Green hopes to return. Let's hope he does for the next person, who's Tyler Boyd, who looks infinitely better when AJ Green's opposite him.
Yes.
But Tyler Boyd
put in a good week last week.
Yeah.
Very happy.
And there's really no one else I'd really mention. I mean, there's other people they have on the offense, like John Ross. Uzomah, he was targeted 13 times last week. Didn't really get much on the scoreboard.
No, he's not doing anything with them.
Not really doing anything with them. Okay, next.
Okay, next up we have the Titans and the Jets. So let's go to the Titans first. And the Japanese import and Marcus Mariota.
Looking better.
I'm really enjoying the fact that the game's becoming more of a world game. Like you've got Mariota representing Japan. You have the Russian Wudka kicker. What do they call him? Butka. It's not Buck, mate. Come on. Wudka.
Yep.
Bloody hell. I have a swig of some vodka before you say it. Look, he's a number 26 quarterback, averaging 13.8. Mate, his season is like a porn movie. So there's a lot of up and down in his season at the moment. Mate, he's giving you weeks of 20 plus. He's giving you a week of 30. Then he goes around and gives you a week of 4, a week of 7, a week of 9, a week of 3. Like, oh my God, and look, he's going up against the Jets. Everybody goes, the Jets are the Jets and they're rubbish. But the past league hasn't been that bad. They're only given up 62.3% completion rate, but they have given up multiple TDs. 7 of the last 8 games, so that works really well for Mariota. And the offense does look a little bit better, but hopefully you possibly have a better option in 1 QB leagues. Dion Lewis, look, he's the starting guy. He's averaging 7.6 standard, 11.5 in PPR. Mate, the Jets D can be run over, as we've just seen lately. Sony Michel and Shady in the last 2 weeks have taken him for 206 yards in the TD at an average of 28.3 fantasy points. Derrick Henry, on the other hand, seems to be the backup at the moment.
Yep.
And we've spoken about him last week. I must have done the Titans as well, because, mate, unless it gets down to the 1 yard line, he ain't doing anything. And he's given the last 4 weeks, he's given you 30, 46, 27, 58 with 2 Ds. And I think both of those TDs came from like 1 foot out.
Yep.
Now, the next guy, I have to put out a big apology because I had a bit of a rant last week about why the hell would you start this guy. So, hold on.
Whoa, what are you doing?
I slapped myself on the ass because he gave me an ass slapping. That's what he did.
I can lay testament to the fact that you actually did.
I bloody hit a bit too hard. So. Reminds me of the days growing up with my father.
I was a little scared when you stood up and started taking your pants off. Anyway.
But he did. He gave me an ass slapping last week because he came out and after I said, how the hell would you start this guy? I'm not. He go and put up a great game. So I'm in his corner this week, so he's probably going to let you down. So I'm apologise for those people because if I say don't start him, start him. This week I'm saying start him, so don't. But yeah, really, really good game last week. The Jets are giving up 26 fantasy points per week to on average to wide receivers. Can't start any other wide receivers behind him. And the only other guy would be Jono Smith.
Jono Smith.
Jono Smith. He comes into the TEP policy. Had a big catch and run last week.
Oh, a huge catch.
I know,
and run.
he's pretty athletic. They caught him just at the end,
Yeah.
but it's pretty hard to bring down a guy that big. Man, he's built powerfully.
I must confess, when I watched that, I
big
didn't
set of pins
think
on him.
that it was Jonnu Smith running the ball.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're like, oh, and it's Jonnu Smith. He's made it all the way. And I was like, wow, really?
Yeah.
It gave me a shock because when you just watched it on film, it didn't look like it was Jonnu Smith. It just looked like, I don't know, some running back or
a big wide receiver.
Big wide receiver. Yeah.
Look, in the last 4 weeks, he's given you 63 and a touchdown, 44, 45 and a touchdown, 33 and a touchdown. That's great.
Yeah.
Great return.
Oh.
So, look, mate, you're definitely rolling him out if you have him.
Yes.
For sure. On the Jets side, Sam Darnold's questionable this week, so I don't know if they're going to throw him back out to the Wolves. If it's Josh McCown, you can pretty much just swipe right. Is it swipe right?
Yes. I think. I don't know.
That's a pretty quick yes.
Well, I'm guessing swipe right.
Vanessa,
it's the right.
I've got something to talk to you about.
I'm guessing it's deliberately right because you're saying it's right.
Okay,
That's what I was thinking.
I have absolutely. Maybe I got to join up and find out. Yeah. Just for research policy. Yeah, for research. That's all I'm going to do it for. So Isaiah Crowell, look, he's a hard one to start. I have him in a few leagues. Not that anybody gives a shit, but it just goes to show that I have him, and I just don't know if I start him every week.
Right.
And this is another week I'm going to have to deal with that. And the fact is, he's just not getting enough carries. They just don't. He's in the last 2 weeks, he's had 13 carries in total, and the 3 weeks prior to that, 13, 13, and 11. Like, how do you start a running back getting like 13 carries a game?
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
It's hard. As you know, maybe you start him as a flex wide running back, but I really don't know. But let's face it, the up against the Titans, a few people run over the Titan. Lamar Miller, we saw him go for 162 and 1, and Marlon Mack the previous week went for 61 and 1 TD. So maybe that gives you some incentive to start Crowell. Elijah Maguire, I have no idea why they're not giving him more carries. You've got to find out what you have in the guy, and they're just not giving him the ball.
I agree.
I just don't get it at all.
I agree.
I really don't get it. Look, wide receivers, sorry, mate. You put the barrier tape, the yellow police barrier tape up. Nothing to see here. Move on.
Yep.
The only one I'd start there, once again, is the tight end. That's Chris Herndon. More so in PPR formats. 8 targets last week for 7 catches and 57 yards. So that's a nice little PPR for a tight end. So the TEP policy applies there.
Very good. Okay, so let's go to the team of the moment. Let's go to the Chiefs at the Raiders. This will be quick. So Patty Mahomes is a huge yes. This could be his biggest game left of the year in terms of fantasy points, honestly. Although there's always the worry that they'll get to the end of the third and just say, Patty, you have a seat on the bench.
Okay.
Do you think in games like this? Who knows? Who knows? They haven't really done it in the past, and the Falcons have blown out some teams. So
yes,
and they haven't done it. So anyway, who knows? Well, I guess now we're saying Spencer Ware. This is one of the league's worst run. Well, actually, the league's worst run defense. Full stop.
So what is he? Is he? We can't put him as running back one because he hasn't shown us enough. We've seen
it in the past.
We've seen it in the past, but
he's a receiving back too. Don't forget. So PPR.
But it's not like he's had a bit of warm-up time.
I reckon you just put him straight in.
Yeah, you put him straight in, but we're going to run it. You're not going to run him as number.
What's his floor? His floor is pretty high.
Like RB2? RB2 this week?
Yeah. Or RB1.
Definitely. Ooh.
But RB2 floor.
Low RB1?
High. He's got a high floor.
Okay. So low RB1.
Yeah.
RB2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Tyreek Hill, absolutely, of course. It goes without saying. Sammy Watkins, injured foot. He may not be able to play, and if he doesn't play... Okay, so you start him, or do you? But I would be watching... The other thing I'd be watching is, if he doesn't start, Chris Conley. Go Chris Conley.
And this whole passing offense could get a little bit of an uptick.
Oh, it could, actually. Yeah.
And look, it's like, okay, now they're going to be teams... The defense is going to be scheming against more passing. Mate, how do you scheme against all the guys that they've got?
You can't.
Mate, you got to have 2 guys just on Kelsey alone.
Yes. Speaking of which, oh my goodness. Kelsey, okay, again, it's just, I don't even need to say to start Kelsey.
No.
He's going to have a
what
day out.
What about Chris Conley this week?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Chris Conley, I reckon, could be a good play for sure.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Now, Raiders, really, honestly, forget it. I'm not exaggerating if I say the only guy worth playing is Jared Cook, and actually he is worth playing. He's a tight end 1, but he simply is the only fantasy player on that team, sadly.
Is there someone on that team?
There's no one else I can really
Jared
mention.
Cook.
Jared
Isn't it
Cook.
amazing how the tight ends get a lot of kudos?
Yeah, they do. It's funny.
Yeah, especially teams that are, well obviously because they lack receivers.
Yeah.
Or a decent quarterback.
Yep.
Tight ends seem to... And it's a tight end wasteland. It's quite...
I know. Now, are you out of teams?
I am.
You better look up the first of Schepps ones. Well, I do. I've still got Redskins at Eagles.
You've got one more?
Yep.
Okay.
So you look up the first one of Schepps.
Schepps says he's going to be ready in a minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'll do this and then hopefully we can time
Well,
it.
I might have to go. I have to go at 1:45.
Okay, all right.
I have to drive. I've got to be there at 1:15.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah.
So Redskins at Eagles. Colt McCoy, he was up and down last time. The Eagles have struggled a little bit against the pass. Flex-worthy, I suppose, in Superflex. AP, he's in a bit of a funk. This is a good run D, but I guess if you have him, you're playing him. Chris Thompson, I don't know if he's going to play. He hopes to return. He's got injured ribs. It's taken him a long time. Capri Bibbs played last week, I think, and did okay. So it's a question of, I think if Thompson doesn't go, Bibbs you can put in if you're desperate. He seems to be doing all right in the same role.
Bibbs is running well.
Yeah, he is.
Look, we spoke about this before we came on. I've got AP, and seriously, I'm going to have to consider starting, and I think I will start someone else over him.
Okay.
Seeing that someone's no longer with a team.
Yes.
Which is good for me, because I have
That's true. Yes. Jamison Crowder, keep an eye on the ankle. It's a good matchup if he's healthy enough to play. Maybe give him a shot. Maybe.
Does he play? How many games did he miss now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think has he stepped foot on the field yet since his injury?
That I don't know.
I don't think he has.
Josh Doxson's coming off a decent game and it's a good matchup. Yeah, maybe. The other guy's Jordan Reed coming off a solid game and it's a good matchup for tight ends. So
he wasn't happy about getting hit in the head last week, and I don't blame him.
No.
Especially for someone who's had the concussion problems that he's had.
Yes.
And for someone who misses what was it? He missed, was it 5, 6, 7 weeks he missed near the end of one season because that's how bad it was. To get hit in the head like that, that's bad enough. But then for the penalty, and it's like, mate, you guys are out here to protect. Well, you can't protect me because you can't say, hey, whoa, don't hit him in the head.
Yeah.
While the play's going on.
Yes.
But you got to protect me by afterwards, throw a flag or you can be kicked out of the game now for helmet to helmet contact, can't you? That's correct. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to. Okay, the protection comes after the fact.
Yep.
It's the fact that you're actually doing something for nothing to get thrown, not even a flag. Yeah, that's not cool.
Exactly.
Someone might have lost a job. I have no idea.
Oh,
or maybe they're down doing the Arena Bowl if that's still around. Canadian football league.
Not Canadian football,
but that's probably finished now.
Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz has been inconsistent. Look for an update this week. The Redskins D is a bit iffy. Josh Adams, who seems to be a poster child for the zero running back strategy, I would say. Man, if you picked him up late, you're a happy man.
Didn't someone say to pick him up more than 3 weeks ago?
You did. He's turned into...
mate, I'm just listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of people blowing sunshine up their own backside.
Yeah.
At this time of year. Well, they do it most of the year in fantasy. To be fair. Everybody knew everything.
Yes.
And look, did I know? No, I just watched a guy that looked like he was running really well. I said, mate, just go and pick him up and stick him on your bench. And you never know. They got to find out what they've got in him.
Which I did.
And they don't have any other running backs, really.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, I thought it was, 1 + 1 = 2 sort of type scenario.
Yeah. Oh, well, I did in approximately, or actually exactly 0 leagues.
Oh, I've got him in a few.
Have you? Good on you. Well done.
And now I'm struggling if I just start him each week, and each week I go, nah. And then he goes and scores.
Yeah.
12,
no, I think you can. Smallwood and Clement, no. Sproles, no. Alshon Jeffries cooled off last couple of games, but this is a matchup could get him back on track. I think you could roll him out. Golden Tate, disappointing.
He's just done nothing since he's moved across, has he?
doesn't feel like that was a trade that made sense to them. Because Nelson Aguilar, we would normally be saying Aguilar is a good matchup, but they both mess each other up.
Yep.
So I don't think you can play either. Put them on the bench. What?
They've hurt both the fantasy value has both dropped.
Precisely. And the other guy is Zach Ertz. Yes, obviously. Roll him out for sure. Machine. Okay, that is it. Okay, so joining us on the line now, we have Schepps. Hey, Schepps, how you doing?
What's happening? My favorite Aussie guy. Don't. You might want to cut that. I'm gonna get a phone call right away. Was I late? I was late. I misinterpreted the time, so he's already not happy. And now I call you my favorite Aussie guy. Boom! I'm gonna get kicked off the show forever. But anyway, I'm happy to be here. I have recovered from the the nuclear fallout from the bomb that dropped today. But I'm doing well, man.
And we won't revisit that. We've actually just been chatting off air about it. So, and G has left the building in the interim. I've cut it out of the actual recording, but he had to dash off. So, but look, he's been replaced. Who was he? Kareem Hunt and your Spencer Ware coming into the building, maybe.
Charkandrick West. I think that's the $1 million question right now.
Is who will be the next guy, because they will have to pick up someone, won't they? Surely, and yes. West is a known quantity, so that would make some sense.
Bo Scarborough.
Is he on waivers? I mean, is a free agent?
He's a free. I think he's a practice squad guy, but I think he's available to be plucked up.
They'll have to pluck somebody, and that could be worth a little bit of a, dart throw in the dark.
I might have to go grab him.
Yeah. My word. Hey, listen, G and I have already gone through our games, so the games you've got on your slate, just hit me with them and I can chime in with little quips and whatever.
All right, so I got the Giants and the Bears, and the first player I want to talk about is probably the player who's disappointed me the most this season, and that's Evan Ingram.
Not playing.
I was so high on him going into this season, and, it's been one injury after another, and I was almost thinking about trading him and selling him last week, but it's like borderline. If you have him, you want to sell him. Now, if you don't have him, should you try to buy him cheap? Because that guy's got all the talent in the world, but it's just been a season from hell for him. So, that's the first player I wanted to address. Obviously, Barkley's balling. Odell Beckham's balling. They're going against the tough defense. So if you're an IDP guy, I think Khalil Mack he might have the most points out of anybody in this game. So that's an interesting matchup. Roquan's looked good. What I personally need is for Jordan Howard to be a running back 2 down the stretch because he's my backup now that Kareem Hunt's gone. The Bears kill me with this Tariq Cohen, Jordan Howard thing. Yeah. I was so high on Jordan Howard 2 years ago. And, man, because I just feel like he's an old school back, and I appreciate that. And it's kind of, what they do on offense doesn't really fit what you would think. Like the old school blueprint for winning football games was tough-nosed defense, power offense. Right. And they have that tough-nosed defense, that Chicago defense, and you'd figure, boom, they'd be punching it down people's throat. But no, they got a shifty back. So it's a little different than what you expect with that blueprint. So Cohen's the start here. For sure. Howard is the shot in the dark, what you're hoping. Robinson looked very good last week. He didn't get many balls, but he was getting open. He looks explosive. He looks crisp in his routes. So, he's a toss-up, but any game he could have 2 touchdowns and 90 yards. So, he's a start. Trey Burton's looked good. You got Chase Daniels back there. I wouldn't start him unless you had to in super flex. But again, I think Allen Robinson, Trey Burton are starts. And obviously on the Giants end, you got Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, and then Red Ellison. He's what's your tight end? What's it called? Your guys' tight end thing?
TEP policy, tight end pulse policy.
Yes, if he's got a pulse. So Red Ellison, he falls in that tight end pulse. He does. So you want me to move on to the next game, or you want to chime in?
I was only going to say maybe Anthony Miller. What do you think?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I missed him. He's on the if we were in front of a chart and if this was on a video, he'd be a guy with an arrow pointing upwards.
Yes.
Because it is starting to come together for him. I was a little early on him. I was drinking the Anthony Miller Kool-Aid this offseason, and he was a slow start, but his arrow is definitely trending upwards.
For sure. Okay, Who have you got next?
Jags versus the Colts. And, initially when I looked at this matchup, I was like, yuck. I'm not interested in this at all. I think the Jaguars defense is underrated at this point because of how bad they played. So I think they are actually probably going to do pretty good against the Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck, if you have a different option this week with high upside, I would play him, the other option. But, it would stink to have Andrew Luck go off and have him on your bench. But I think the Jaguars, it's a division opponent. But here's the thing. We're going to find out this week if Jacksonville is giving up. This is the game. If they go out and shit the bed, and Luck goes for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, I'm not buying it. Jaguars are done. After seeing what Leonard Fournette did last week, that was just such a knucklehead move. That guy's a punk. He gladly took that suspension in stride. He doesn't mind sitting home for a game. That dude is not a football player. He's not a guy I want on my team.
Yep.
That being said, Carlos Hyde, he's worthy of a start, but then he's going to be splitting touches with Yeldon. But Hyde might get some touches this week. D.D. Westbrook's probably the wide receiver you want to start.
Yes.
Keelan Cole hasn't done much. T.Y. Hilton's starting to come together. Dontrell Inman, he's kind of a long shot, but he had a good week, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. So he's a long shot wide receiver if you need somebody. But it's T.Y. Hilton. It's possibly Carlos Hyde, D.D. Westbrook, and if you have to, Andrew Luck. So those are the guys that I'm thinking. How about you?
I would add in just watch Marlon Mack because he's dealing with concussion. He may not play. If he doesn't play, Nyheim Hines. But I like Nyheim Hines anyway. But he gets an uptick.
What about the cat from Ole Miss?
Oh, Wilkins. I guess if Mack's out, then that's a possibility. Certainly not if Mack's playing. But Hines and Wilkins, I guess, yes. If Mack is not playing, then yes. And did you mention Eric Ebron? So obviously we've got who's the other dude? Jack Doyle now on IR. So Eric Ebron tight end 1 the rest of the way. He was a tight end 1 anyway.
Right.
So, but an exclamation point now. Okay, who you got next?
All right, let me see here. I have the Lions versus the Rams. So, man, I don't know what is up with the Lions. They, now Marvin Jones is hurt, so Kenny Galladay is a must start. I think Theo Riddick's a start. LeGarrette Blount, he's going to score touchdowns. He's going to get you at least 10 points because he's going to score touchdowns. He's a start. Who else they got? It's Stafford. I thought they were going to roll with Patricia, but you've already heard me rant about that. But I think Matthew Stafford's time in Detroit might be coming to an end because it just seems like it's spoiled. He needs to get a chance somewhere else. I think they need to move on. Not that he can't do it. I think he's a good quarterback, but I just think Matthew Stafford in Detroit has spoiled. So now moving on to the opposite side of the ball, you got the Rams. Start everybody. Start Robert Woods. I mean, do I even need to talk about it? Just start everybody.
No.
Higbee,
Josh Reynolds,
Everett,
Brandon Cooks.
Anybody. Yeah. Anybody and everybody. Just start them. Because this is another game like the Jaguars. We're going to find out if the Lions quit.
Yeah.
This could be a game where the Lions just check out and the Rams put up 60 points. Or this could be a game where the Lions go toe-to-toe with the Rams. I still think the Rams are going to score, but it could be a shootout. The Lions have that in them. But I think it's leaning more towards the Lions checking out and the Rams just having their way with them.
Quick question. Who's the Lions' number 2 wide receiver?
Man, I don't even know.
The fact you have to think about it kind of speaks to the situation because they've got Brandon Powell, TJ Jones, Bruce Ellington. It's like, ugh.
Right.
Getting rid of Golden Tate.
Ellington got a few targets last week. Golden Tate's a free agent next year.
Yeah.
Golden Tate, if Brady returns, Golden Tate to the Pats. You heard it here first.
Oh, gee. Trade is one trade I just cannot understand. It hasn't helped the Eagles at all. It hasn't made sense on their end. It hasn't made sense on the Lions' end.
Think about all the Twitter GMs and reporters when the Cowboys traded that first for Amari.
Yeah.
And the Eagles traded the third for Tate. Everyone was like, they had to spend a first, and we got Tate for a third. And everyone thought that the Eagles outsmarted the Cowboys. And now look at it. Tate hasn't done jack.
No.
And Cooper's been a baller.
Oh, My word. Okay, next up.
Pats Vikings. So I kind of just talked about the Patriots because I mentioned that I believe Golden Tate's going there next year. Sony Michel has kind of, after last week, my James White share kind of is a little nervous because I've been riding James White PPR all season long. And I'm still going to start him because it's only been one down week, and I think he still scored like 10 points. But Michel, man, if you've been holding on to him, especially in redraft, if you held on to him all year, if you picked him up late, he is going to help you down the stretch. I think he is going to be a championship winner. So I'm starting Michel. I'm starting James White. I'm starting Brady. I'm starting Edelman. Edelman had, I think, 18 PPR points last week. He's coming in hot.
For sure.
And here's another thing. I think Josh Gordon, he hasn't had that monster game yet. No. And it is coming. He's due for not only one, he's due for two. And there's 4 weeks left, 5 weeks left? So what the odds are, he's due for two within the next 4 or 5 weeks because he hasn't had them. So right around the corner is like 110 yards, 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. That's coming. So that could happen this week. Gronk kind of scares me. On the other side of the ball, Diggs is questionable. So, you got to consider that. Dalvin Cook, I think they're going to get him a little more involved. Cousins should have a day. Thielen should have a day. Rudolph should have a day. So this is another game where I want somebody. I want to have a few players in this game because I think this is going to be a shootout.
Yep, I agree. And you didn't really leave anyone out except maybe Gronk. I think Gronk.
Well, I mentioned you. I just said he makes me nervous.
Oh, right. Yeah. He does. But I think this could be him finally. He might finally sort of pay back some value in the final weeks. He's
going against Harrison Smith. I don't think Harrison Smith. That might be an interesting matchup, but because Xavier Rhodes has a hammy, so I would put Rhodes on Gronk if he was healthy, but he's got a hammy, so you might be seeing Harrison Smith. But I think Gronk when healthy, it doesn't matter who is covering. But
exactly. Okay, what have you got left?
My final matchup is Steelers versus Chargers. And this is another
cracking game.
Yes. Patriots, Vikings, Steelers, Chargers. These are two matchups that are phenomenal. Obviously Juju and Antonio Brown. I think, the Steelers offense seemed a little upset last week. They weren't really rolling, especially James Conner. So I think they're going to try to get him involved early, get him moving. The Chargers defense, they're not too shabby, especially with Bosa back. But I think Conner is going to have a pretty big week. Obviously Juju, Ben, Antonio Brown. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Melvin Gordon hurt. So it's Justin Jackson and it's Austin Eckler. So, I think you want to, if you could get either of those guys, I wouldn't mind starting them because I think both of them should go for a good 12 to 14 points. They're going to split the carries. There's enough carries or catches to go around for them. Mike Williams, I think he's been pretty TD dependent, but Rivers has been looking for him in the red zone.
Yep.
Keenan Allen hasn't had a Keenan Allen season, but he's starting to get on down the stretch. I think over the last 4 weeks he's averaging at least 15 points. So start Rivers. Gates he's got a pulse. So there's that. If you got somebody in this game, you're starting him.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's about it. And Melvin Gordon, sadly, the timetable on things could mean that he's basically done for fantasy, really, this year.
Yeah. And I don't have him on any team, so
I've got him on a few, so that's
there's a few guys that I just don't touch for some reason. He's one of them. Leonard Fournette's one of them. Just guys that I don't really trust. Keenan Allen was one of them, but this year I got him on a few rosters, so it's sort of paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it.
That's it.
Hey, fantastic. Well, we could basically wrap it up. So it's been a quick fire thing. All we've done is gone through all the games this week. It's the last week of the fantasy regular season, which is kind of a scary thing to say. It's exciting, but scary. It all goes too fast generally. But, last week of the fantasy season and fantasy playoffs we're looking at next week for most leagues, starting next week, which is pretty cool as well. But
you're counting on Kareem Hunt. And if you're in a league where the trade deadline hasn't come yet, like I'm in a few leagues where they wait to the last week of the regular season, which I like.
Yep.
You got to go out and make a move. And, Some owners might try to bend you over because they know you're in a bad way. But if you're chasing a championship and you could have an opportunity to put some cash in your pocket, you got to win now. You got to do what it takes. Don't overpay too much, but you got to secure what you got to secure so you can win that championship.
Oh, you got to do it.
Thing.
When you've got a window, you just got to go for it. And
yes.
Ooh, so
because what happened today shows you that shit happens fast. Things can change fast. If you could win now, win now and then worry about what you traded later.
Man, that was beyond fast. So what would you... Okay, so let's say you had Kareem Hunt...
Right.
And someone was trying to get Kareem Hunt off you. What's the minimum amount?
Oh, man.
A first?
I'm not selling him. I'm not. It's too fast. I know that's not a good answer. That's not really what, the listener wants to hear. That's not like an exciting answer. But right now, I am a Kareem Hunt owner, and I'm just not ready to move on from him yet.
So you don't sell him?
No. It's just like you said, everything happens so fast. And it might come back to bite me in the ass because what happens if he never plays again? And I could have got something for him, but personally, I'm just holding him. I need to digest this. So I'm holding him. But let me try to give you an answer. I think.
What about on the flip side? Okay, don't think about it that way. Okay, you're in a league where you don't have Kareem Hunt. Would you be prepared to throw an offer at the Kareem Hunt owner?
If I was in a rebuild and if I had a few picks in the first round this year and I felt like I could get a running back and I feel like, maybe next year I could be a contender, I'd be willing to, try to send like a 19 seconds into 2020 second. That seems like a lot, but I think I'd be willing to pay that because the kid can play.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get anything in the second that's a guarantee. You might get something in the second that ends up working out, but you can't guarantee that to me. Putting Kareem Hunt in your roster guarantees a baller when he's playing, if he's playing, And
I feel like with the freshness of the news, if you threw an offer out, there's a chance that skittish owners will hit accept on that.
Start with the second. I'd be willing to pay 2. That doesn't mean send that first.
Yeah.
Lately, because I'm in a few, I'm doing pretty well, in most of my leagues. So the offers I've been sending within the last 1 or 2 weeks are offers that I feel like are going to put me over the top and almost guarantee me a championship. So I've definitely been overpaying a little bit. And I think I need to calm down and sit back and try to send a little more fair of an offer to begin with and then offer. But I'm kind of in the mood where I just want to get it done,
Yeah.
But don't do what I did. Start out a little lower, and work your way up.
Yeah, look, I think if you're in the window, overpaying is not, at the end of the day, you'll have a fantasy championship, and
right.
That's the
But
main.
It doesn't hurt to try, to go a little lower and not go with your best offer.
That's very true. Well, on that note, I'm going to let you go, Schepps, and I'm going to head off with some other things today, and you're going to probably hit the sack or whatever.
Yes.
But thanks for coming on.
It's been a pleasure. I'm sorry I was late, but I'm glad there was time for me to come on. And everyone, good luck last week of the regular season. If you're on the fringe, I hope it works out for you, and I hope you get in.
Absolutely. Throw everything at it, and hopefully you can sneak into the playoffs.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut, because if you don't win and you miss the playoffs and it's because you listened to somebody else, that's going to hurt.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Trust your gut.
No, that's a good call. And on that note, thanks everybody for listening. As always, good luck. Good luck from all of us, and on behalf of Schepps, myself, and G, we'll catch you next time.